welcome to the King Sacrifice YouTube Chess channel. So this will be the 5th episode of the Attacking Manual Volume 1, and we will be going through the next chapter where we'll learn how to maintain the attack. And so the first one we are going to look at is not a great but an instructive example of maintaining the maintaining the attack. So white played the move f4. Black continued with d5, e3, e6, knight to f3, c5, b3, knight to f6, bishop to b2, bishop to e7, bishop to b5 check, bishop to d7, bishop returned to e2, both the side castles. b5 was played in the game, but here knight to c6 with an idea of aiming on the e5 square, meeting with knight to e5 with d4. So that would have been the idea, but after b5, knight to e5 was played. White has brought his knight to the center and towards the king side, and black's center is relatively closed, so he is going to struggle bringing his pieces to the king side. And after a5 was played, here black would have done something with his b8 knight. After a5, rook to f3 was played, knight to e4, rook to h3 was played. Now the move f6 was played, which is not considered a good idea because it weakens the light squares on the king side. Better would have been to play the move bishop to e8, after which it is hard for white to establish an attack. So after f6, knight captures on d7 was played, queen captures on d7, a4, b4 was played in the game, which allowed white to play bishop to b5 and restricted the black queen from moving to the e8 square and gaining some access to the king side. So, and it also primarily leaves the way of the white king towards the black's king side. And now let me tell you that here instead of b4, b captures on a4 would have been played without losing time, but white would have probably continued with the move d3, knight to d6, rook captures on a4 with significant advantage. So after b4, bishop to b5 was played, queen to queen to c8. Here comes the queen to the h5, and now black plays h6. So now you can see that the white squares in the king side is very weak. So now the queen moved to g6, king to h8, d3, knight to d6, knight to d2 was played, and with this move, white has started bringing out his remaining pieces. So now black captured the white squared bishop. Black finally got rid of that bishop, which was preventing black's main defense, but it is not forced for white to capture the piece back. Instead, white can continue with rook to f1. And so now knight to d6 was played in the game, and let me tell you that queen to e8 loses to many possible ways. For example, rook captures on h6 check, king to g8, queen to h7 check, king to f7, and knight to f3. That was one reason. That's why after knight to d6, rook captured on the h6 with a check, g captures on h6, queen captures on h6, king to g8, queen to g6 check, king to h8, and now in the game rook to f3 was played, and after which the move e5 was played with an idea that whenever the rook moves to h3 with a check, the queen can always capture it. But white played the move f5, so now it is forced for black to capture the pawn. But after this f5 move, black instantly resigned. Here, instead of rook to f3, queen to h5 with a check leads to a mate in 3. And so this was all about today's video, and we learned about the momentum and maintaining the attack. So black wasn't able to do so great development or some defensive moves, but white demonstrated a great idea of maintaining the attack. So this was all about today's video, and thank you for watching. So see you on the